I mean,
You have seen the smear, and the smear is nowhere like spherocytosis, right? Recently, we had one patient in the ward with
okay,
spherocytosis,
okay,
and we saw the smear. The smear was, you need to have at least 20% cells which are spherocytic, right?
okay, ma'am.
That child has more than 50%.
Okay, ma'am. Uh,
So you see it on the smear, it's generally seen well. So you can't confuse. If you've seen on smear and those were your findings, there is no reason for you to do osmotic fragility now.
Ma'am, do we
Okay, so don't
do
get.
high performance liquid chromatography for the diagnosis of this case? Will we do that?
Yes, 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 yes. We should every time do it.
Okay, ma'am.
So after the smear and ready, you have to do HPLC.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Smear. Okay, ma'am.
That is important diagnostic method. Okay. Initially, we used to do hemoglobin electrophoresis.
Okay, ma'am.
These days, we are doing HPLC.
Uh,
So it's faster and it's more objective.
okay, ma'am.
HPLC. Yeah.
So these all investigations we will do.
Good. Anything
Thank you.
else we would do with the patient and say he's come to you, and what are the things you need to ensure? You investigated, you confirmed the diagnosis that is seeming like a thalassemia patient, right? So is he, what is the diagnosis? Is it thalassemia minor, major, intermediate?
Uh, Thalassemia major.
Why?
Because the patient, because thalassemia major presents as the transfusion dependent anemia, whereas thalassemia minor will just have the mild anemia and that too present in the late adolescents, and thalassemia
Pardon,
intermediate
is what? Thalassemia minor is?
is mild anemic and they do not require as such repeated blood transfusions, and they usually present in the late adolescents, whereas the thalassemia intermediate uh, they do not require.
Generally, thalassemia minors don't present with anything. They are picked up by in a routine test where they see that maybe the child is not improving, is always remaining to be around 9, 10 of hemoglobin.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Whereas thalassemia intermedia requires blood transfusion
Even
only after.
the boys who would have, say, normally 15, 16 of hemoglobin.
Hello, ma'am, your voice is breaking. Hello.
Yes. Yeah.
Huh,
What is
yes,
it?
ma'am.
I missed that.
I missed what you said about thalassemia minor. Can you repeat that, please?
Yeah, actually, they are picked up on a routine examination, or their parents may be concerned that his hemoglobin is always around 9, 10. So,
Okay, ma'am.
otherwise, they have no issues. They don't
Okay.
require transfusions or anything.
Okay, ma'am.
Maybe in pregnancy, lady would have anemia as compared to what she should not have. So, that's how
Okay,
they
ma'am.
get diagnosed. So, they don't
Okay,
get
ma'am.
any symptoms for that person.
Oh,
So
okay,
that's
ma'am.
about minor. What about intermedia? Who's going to tell me about intermedia? Is Kajal going to tell me?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, intermedia will also not be symptomatic initially. So
Okay.
it can present late and with anemia, no transfusions are required.
Okay. So is that always so that more transfusions are required, Kajal?
Um, yes, ma'am, I think so.
Okay. So it's not the case really. So what happens is they are generally found to be late as they present late, as you said. Okay. And anemia can be severe also. So they may have a precipitating cause for it. Maybe they have some infection, something else which makes them sick, and the HP drops further. Okay, so they
Okay.
may present any time, up even at 18 years of age for the first time. So it's better that people who are not screened themselves can really screen up to any age, right? So what happens is these patients are not picked up routinely, but sometimes they have hemolytic faces, so they look little different. Okay, and that's because they are in a state of constant anemia and their body is trying to correct it by taking the measures of increased erythropoiesis. So then these are the patients who again have poor oxygenation and they will have ulcers. So those who have repeated leg ulcers, those who are chronically anemic, and little hemolytic features, they should be screened for thalassemia again. Okay, and sometimes these patients require transfusion, as I said, when they drop HB because of infection, or just like that, also they might drop hemoglobin and they can require infrequent transfusions. So they can, most of the times, they may require about a few transfusions in their life, or some patients regularly require once in 3-4 months. Okay, so that's the
Okay.
status of thalassemia intermedia. And how do you differentiate major from intermedia? Say if the patient has come to me today and he requires he's taken about 10 transfusions at say 8 years of age, right? So then he could be thalassemia intermedia, right? So you need to work him up for things depending on what you find in their preliminary examination and tests.
Okay.
So they may require infrequent transfusions. They will have organomegaly. They will have hemolytic features, but they're clinically mild. Generally, they require transfusions after 1.5 years of age, after 18 months is the age of presentation.
Okay,
And
ma'am.
again, as I told you, these are the ones who may have silent pulmonary hypertension. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
they are predisposed to thromboembolic phenomenon. So it's not that they are absolutely asymptomatic. They do have their share of problems for which they need to be monitored.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
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 Hello.
Ma'am is not here. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Ma'am left, I think.
No, she's
No, she left.
okay.
I
Yes,
think she'll join again. Just ruk ja 2 minutes.
okay.
हेलो आकांक्षा.
कौन है ये?
हेलो
Meet Saurabh.
विराज. हेलो.
हाँ बोलो.
अच्छा.
अरे when ma'am joins again, please ask her one question about the blood transfusion protocol in case of children. Like
ठीक है. 1 second.
like in adults हम लोग directly like 1 unit
Can you hear
450
me?
ml
Ma'am
देते हैं
has
ना.
joined. Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Yeah, sorry, ma. Actually, the battery was very low, I guess. So with all this video thing, it got. So we were at discussing about thal intermedia. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Fine. So what happens here is you need to label them properly. So what happens is sometimes patients do come with anemia and they come with some infection and then they get this HPLC which is suggestive of thalassemia. Okay.
Yes.
Then they get wrongly labeled as thalassemia major and somebody puts them on transfusions and they go on routine transfusions. So they become transfusion dependent. So they are labeled wrongly as thal majors. Okay. So you have to be very careful that you unnecessarily don't start transfusions in these patients who don't need them. Okay. Because what happens is if you start transfusion in them, you know that they will unnecessarily be iron overloaded. Okay. And these patients generally maintain at their HB at whatever is their baseline. For a particular patient, it could be 7, 8, or 9 also. So you have to monitor by the basis of growth.
Okay, ma'am.
If the child is growing well, you will not want to put him on regular transfusions or thal intermedia.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so indication for transfusion is growth faltering and not able to maintain the routine physical activity for the average child at that age. Okay, not based on the hemoglobin. But they say the cutoff is 7. child is following at proper hematologist, he will take the right decisions.
Okay, ma'am.
So
Ma'am,
what about your patient?
ma'am, how would we differentiate if the presentation is similar between thalassemia intermedia and thalassemia major?
Second, I can't hear you. Yeah, tell me.
Ma'am, how would we differentiate between thalassemia intermedia and thalassemia major?
Oh,
If
I
the
just thought I
presentation,
told you.
no, I mean based on that was the presentation part. So like, can we differentiate it between based on HPLC study?
Yeah, you can. You can.
Okay, ma'am.
So what will happen is generally they would have low HbF.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
HbF would be the differentiating thing.
Okay, ma'am.
So that can help, but it's not foolproof again. So clinical, it's majorly clinical.
Okay, ma'am.
Right?
Okay, ma'am. So
And then
my
maybe
case is,
molecular studies will also help. So these days molecular studies are available. So whenever
Okay,
in
ma'am.
doubt and the patient is affording, we can ask for molecular studies.
Okay, ma'am.
So can you tell me how many of you all have got yourself screened for thalassemia? Is there anyone who wants to show in the chat the thumb that he's done it, he or she? Oh, I don't see anyone yet. So how about at least getting sensitized after this, and once the lockdown is over, I request you all to screen yourself. My mom says no. No, in the sense what? You're already, you've got some, what do you call that? I don't know what to say. Some privilege that you will not have anything. See that it's better that we are medical professionals ourselves, and it's a basic screening that is mandatory in many countries. You know, there has been eradication of thalassemia in many countries which are of Mediterranean region. Cyprus is one of them. Okay, and they had rampant thalassemia there. It was very high density of population which had thalassemia, and they reduced it to zero birth of thalassemia. But by doing what? What screening is it called?
Nestrov.
Premarital screening.
Sorry, ma'am.
Premarital screening.
Okay, okay.
Mandatory. So
Okay.
without that, there will be no marriages. So that's how they eradicated it there. So I think for Indian population, the Modi Sarkar needs to do that now. One more ordinance. Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
because he knows that people are not doing on their own. They need somebody to be standing there with a chadi. So is anybody convinced? You know, it's
ma'am.
autosomal recessive.
Yes,
Are you
ma'am.
aware?
Yes, ma'am.
And carriers are asymptomatic.
Yes, ma'am.
And sometimes, even despite knowing that your hemoglobin is good, there could be minor mutations. Okay, so if two mutations come together, it will be a major fault.
Okay, ma'am.
So can you tell me how many genes are there for beta globin?
We have 2 genes for beta and 4 for alpha.
2 genes
For beta.
2 pair of
Gene.
genes.
Yes, ma'am. Hello. Hello.
Yes, I'm trying to listen to you.
Ma'am, two pair of genes for beta and 4 for alpha.
Okay, so what happens? There's something called silent mutation also, right?
Okay, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
I can't hear you well, but
Hello. Hello.
yes, or you're speaking too less.
Ma'am, too less.
Okay. So what is the management? Let's go on. Let's shift the topic now. I think you all will read more, and I only request you all to get yourself screened.
Okay,
I
ma'am.
hope I'm able to convince you all.
Yes, ma'am.
Will you all be able to do? Can you explain your mothers rather than mothers forcing you? Are you all still in that generation where you all listen to your parents so much? I am so happy. That makes me really happy. Danish, I'm really, really amused and happy rather than amused. There is some hope for me that my kids will listen to me. Cooper does have screening. No, not really. We are yet to get that sophisticated machine, you know, na? We are here with basics. So, but everywhere else, it's there at SCIEN, it's at NIH and KEM. Okay. And of course, it's there in private. For us, some money is not important rather than our health. So please go ahead. And I will try if we can do a screening camp anytime in future, but it doesn't seem to be possible for a long time now. Okay. So maybe we can catch hold of all of you all one day and just screen you all without consent. Okay, so can you tell me, Akansha, what is the management for these patients apart from how do you decide about transfusions in thalassemia major now? We talked about thalassemia. That is dependent on the growth and they keep cutoff of 7. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
But for thal major, what about it?
The hemoglobin, the pre-transfusion hemoglobin should be maintained at the level of 9 to 10 gram per deciliter. And we have the we have transfusion regime where we have low transfusion where the hemoglobin is maintained at 6 to 10 gram per deciliter.
Sorry, I can't hear. Can you be a little louder? This with new handset, I can't hear.
Oh, okay, ma'am. We have the pre-transfusion hemoglobin should ideally be maintained between 9 to 10 gram per deciliter. We have this different transfusion regime that is low transfusion regime, which focuses on maintaining the pre-transfusion hemoglobin level at 6 to 10 gram per deciliter. Hypertransfusion where the pre-transfusion...
Oh, no, I don't want all these details.
Okay,
we just follow from 9 to 9.5, okay? Pre-transfusion. What else? That is one part of deciding the transfusion. Then what else is the treatment apart from transfusions? You said folates.
Yes, folic acids. Then chelation therapy also forms the part of the treatment.
Okay. How frequently do you monitor for ferritin? What is the way in which you monitor for iron overload?
By measuring the serum ferritin level.
Serum ferritin. Anything else? First clinical?
There could be if there's a sign of increased iron overload like hyperpigmentation and all is present, then also
hyperpigmentation, sphenohepatomegaly,
endocrinopathies like hypoparathyroidism, hypocalcemia.
Pardon?
Ma'am, the signs, the blood iron overload leading to endocrinopathies.
But that's not the way you monitor for iron overload. That's you monitor for complications of iron overload, isn't it? There are two different things. One is you monitor iron overload. Other thing is you look for complications of iron overload. So don't confuse two things together.
Oh, okay, ma'am.
Okay. So what is it apart from your clinical? You said pigmentation. We said sphenohepatomegaly. You said ferritin. Anything else that you need to do? Recent technology. I hope you all know it. I think it would be mentioned in your books. Aruchami, right?
Ma'am, I don't know.
Anybody else wants to help out? Phone a friend, ask for chat help. So who's there? Nobody pitching in. You're left alone. Are we only sitting here?
Ma'am,
so come on, where is Danish? You can speak for some time rather than chatting.
Ma'am, can we go for liver function test?
Yeah, he's saying something.
Ma'am, I don't know.
Acha, you don't know. Yeah, that's very honest. Okay. Then what was my question?
how to monitor iron overload other than the serum ferritin,
Okay.
hyperpigmentation.
Yeah.
and
So what do we need to do is there's something called T2 star MRI for
Oh,
cardiac and the liver iron overload.
yes, ma'am.
I think you all heard about it, right?
It's given in some book. I don't remember.
Yeah, so it is a very upcoming and very helpful technology
Okay,
which
ma'am.
helps us to detect in time, and it's quite sensitive and specific.
Okay, ma'am.
Initially, we were doing biopsies, liver biopsies to quantify the liver load. There was something called SQUID, all that you need to know because you will be appearing for your exams. Okay, but practically we do T2 star cardiac MRI along with
Okay,
the
ma'am.
liver cuts also.
Okay,
Fine,
ma'am.
so that gives us fairly good. It's without radiation exposure, no risk to patient. So it's a good technology which helps us in guiding the increasing or titrating the dose of chelation therapy rather.
Okay, ma'am.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's also you know about iron chelators, how many and all. I guess you all will read.
Yes, ma'am.
But anything that you want to tell, what is available in your hospital, doctor? Can you tell me?
Uh, I don't know, ma'am.
Pardon?
Ma'am, I don't know what is available in our hospital.
Why you're in directly jumped in your third year in Corona? Where were you in second year? Not in wards?
In
You all have become very, very, straightforward.
sorry, ma'am.
I don't know. So we have Desirox and Kelper, which is Desferrioxamine. Desperal is not what is available in BMC, but we are not using at Cooper.
Okay, ma'am.
Because why it requires that subcutaneous
Infusion
administration pump,
Yes, ma'am.
which is cumbersome and expensive. So we are here following oral chelation.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you need to know everything theoretical about the chelation as well as practical. How do you give that iron chelator? Anything that you know about Desirox?
We give it.
Desirox is the pharmaceutical name.
Okay. We mix it in a plastic cup and then we give it on an empty stomach. We by mixing it
It's
either
not
in water or
plastic cup.
juice.
It's a
Plastic container.
yeah glass.
Okay. Ma'am,
And
do
a
we
plastic
use
stirrer. Yeah.
do we use stainless steel or other containers?
No. That's not advisable because it deposits over there. It forms a reaction and it's not
Okay.
helpful then. So we have
Okay,
to
ma'am.
follow the specifications.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so you have to be thorough with that. That's what tells us that you have been taking histories in the ward, how
Yes,
much you
ma'am.
are in contact with the patient, with your new curriculum of early clinical exposure. You're supposed to
Yes,
know all that. MUHS wants you to know everything, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
So now what else?
Uh,
So what will you monitor? Now comes the question of monitoring for complications. Can you list them out quickly? I think you have your next lecture.
yes, ma'am. The
You have your next
complication.
lecture. Pardon?
Hello, ma'am. Sorry to interrupt. This is Viraj.
Yeah,
Ma'am,
you
I
have
had
your
a
next
doubt
lecture, right?
regarding,
Yes, ma'am.
So should we stop here?
Ma'am, lecture is at 1:30, so we have time.
Oh, how sad. Yeah, okay, fine.
At
So
1:30, we have
talking-
half an hour still.
Okay. So we'll just try and finish the discussion then. Okay, thank you, Kachal, for letting me know that.
Yes, ma'am.
So we were at discussing
Complication.
how to monitor for complications, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So early in the age, you'll start looking for your chelation, whether your chelation is happening correctly or not, based on all that we discussed, right?
Yes,
Clinical, with your investigations, you need to look for another thing you need to look is to monitor toxicities of your chelator, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So when
Yes,
the child is on, since you know little about it, I will talk myself. Okay, is that fine?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Somebody is asking me what is blood transfusion protocol in children. So can you specify your question? What do you mean by protocol in children?
hello.
Viraj?
Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Am I audible? Hello.
Yeah, tell me.
Ma'am, in the sense like how much amount of unit has to be transfused in what specific amount?
Sorry, I
Like
can't hear
in
you.
case
Can
of
you
adult,
type it, please, Viraj? What you say?
hello,
Yeah.
hello.
Yes, yes, I
Hello.
can hear you a little bit.
Hello, am I audible now?
Yes, yes, that's better. Yeah,
Hello.
say it.
Yes, ma'am. In case of pediatric population, like how much amount should be transfused and how much amount of time?
Okay,
And
okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. So that way. So
like a
you have
practical
to in chronic transfusions in patients with who are on chronic transfusions, you give 15 to 20 cc per kg, okay, of packed red cells. Okay, so what is it? What kind of blood you give? You don't give it. You don't call it blood. Actually, no hematologist likes the blood product being called blood. Okay, so what we call is packed red cell transfusion. What is it called, Viraj?
PCV.
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so it's called packed red cell transfusion, and as I told you, it's to be given over 2 to 3 hours. Unless the child has cardiac complications, where would you want to give it little slower, 4 hours or something? Okay, with monitoring. Does that
Okay.
answer your question?
Ma'am, and prior to giving blood transfusion, do we give
Again, I
any
can't hear you well.
hello.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah. And prior to blood transfusion, just as in adults, do we give Lasix or like furosemide or any other diuretic in case
See,
of pediatric
routinely we don't
population?
give for transfusions in thalassemia. We don't give unless the child has come with very low hemoglobin. Okay, so if it's around 9, 8, you don't need to give Lasix because the body can handle it since you're giving over 2 to 3 hours. But if the child has come with hemoglobin of 4, 5, yes, or 6, and he shows signs of CCF, we do give Lasix then. Okay,
Okay.
Viraj?
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Yeah, so we give generally we give every 4 to 6 weeks. Sorry, not 4 to 4 weeks, and initially they require less frequently when they are small, and as they grow big, their need increases. Plus, there are many other complications like immune hemolysis is happening. There is iron overload, which causes the red cells to deplete early. There's early clearance of RBCs, and that's why you need frequent transfusion. So they end up getting every 3 weeks or sometimes even 2 weeks. But if it is more frequent than that, then you need to rethink what is wrong with the patient. They sometimes can require very frequent transfusions, and that's when you have to think of alloimmunization. Alloimmunization per se is repeated exposure to all these donor blood cells will cause immune reactions, and that will cause immune hemolysis. That is called alloimmunization. It's one of the complications in thalassemia. Okay, is that
Ma'am,
little bit understood?
yes, ma'am. In case of adults, like we recommend that the transfusion should be done within 20 to 30 minutes. Whereas in case of because if it is kept for longer time, then the reasons are given like there can be hemolysis or there can be alteration in the stored blood. So, ma'am, but in case of pediatric population, we are giving for 2 to 3 hours. So, any change in any preservatives or anything like how is it maintained for that long outside the body temperature?
See, it's not no. Generally,
Because it
beyond
is
4 to 6
different from
hours,
the
beyond 4 to 6 hours, it will make changes. Apart from that, it stays 3 to 4 hours. Doesn't make a big difference. Okay. Otherwise, there could be chances that there'll be hyperkalemia and poor HB rise in hematocrit and all that. But generally, it's not with this kind of protocol. We routinely give this protocol, and it's recommended worldwide by the transfusion committees. Okay. So
okay.
in adults also, I don't think they ask them to give full pint in half an hour, do they? Is it so? This is again new for me.
I shall just again read up.
Pardon?
I shall read up again.
Yeah, please, because this is not doesn't sound correct. Okay, because they require, in fact, the larger volumes, isn't it? Adults.
Yes, ma'am.
Whole pint going in half an hour becomes too much. See, platelets we give fast. Platelets we give as a push, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
But packed red cells are to be given slowly. If you give faster, the size of that transfusion set is not like a big pipeline, isn't it? It's a
Yes.
IV set which is little bigger. Transfusion set they call it. So I don't think half an hour will be too fast. Okay?
Ma'am, and what all things should be monitored during the transfusion?
Pardon?
What all things are monitored while the transfusion is going on?
While transfusion is going on, what you need to try and monitor? Tell me, Viraj. What is the problem? See, if the child is HB of 9, do you need to monitor about the cardiac status? Yes or no?
Yes.
No, not needed. Na? You rather need to look for transfusion reactions, right?
Okay, ma'am.
So acute transfusion reactions is what you have to watch out for. You have to watch out the pulse, if the child is getting any itching, any respiratory issues because of anaphylaxis, isn't it? So all
Okay.
those are complications for which you need to be prepared, because any drugs or any transfusion or any external products that we are administering can be a cause of anaphylaxis to any particular individual. So that we have to be careful,
Okay.
right? So that's
Okay,
about the
ma'am.
transfusions. So we were discussing something else. This is about anything else that you have to ask about transfusions?
No, ma'am. No.
Okay. So basically you have to see to it your transfusions are adequate for the patient. You don't transfuse, generally they also ask for something called saline washed packed red cells. So what are saline washed packed red cells? So they do triple saline wash, that is to remove the other things which can cause transfusion reaction. So what are those other things which are washed off? So WBCs they want to clear off, right? So they will remove most of them, which will not give at least the transfusion immediate reactions, which can cause fever and certain features like what do you call that, anaphylaxis, not to great extent, mostly for fever. So what happens is generally as you start transfusion, the patients may get chills and fever, which is again because of these things which are present, the WBCs which are there in the blood. So we are supposed to, this is the old method where we used to use triple saline wash. What is the latest thing that is available to give? Can anybody tell me?
Leukocyte filter, ma'am, leukocyte filter.
Yes. So you have a bedside leukocyte filter. So there is something like bedside leukocyte filter, or there can be leukocyte filtration when they are making the packed bags. Okay. So, but then most of us here, they give bedside leukocyte filter. Okay. Only problem is the money. Each filter cost it used to cost about 1,000 rupees. So at every transfusion to spare 1,000 rupees is difficult for our patients, right? So it is little difficult to achieve. Okay, so that's about the leukocyte filters, blood. And then regular monitoring for complications of chelation. You watch for growth. Then you will watch for all the endocrine organs. So either you'll do the thyroid workup, you'll look for the growth of the patient, whether he's achieving menarche or pubar in time, whether they need investigations for delayed puberty. Then you look at the calcium metabolism, the risk to fractures, okay, cardiac complications. Sometimes liver can get accumulated and then get fibrosed or cirrhosed. So all those need to be looked for. Apart from that, anything else that we have missed and you want to tell me? Transfusion related complication, Viraj? What is the complication because of transfusion? Any infections?
HIV and hepatitis B and C.
Yes. So important is hepatitis B, HIV, hepatitis C. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All these infections, malaria can be post transfusions. Okay.
Yes,
So all these things we need to be careful about. Okay, so are we done? If you have any queries, you can ask me later when we have some lecture someday. Okay, so you can note down and you can ask. I'll be more than happy to answer.